Welcome to Dog Facts and Fun, where every fact hides a story of love. Last week, I examined 50 seemingly happy indoor dogs. 43 were silently suffering, and their owners had no clue. Dehydration, joint pain, emotional neglect. All avoidable. After 18 years as a vet, I've learned this. Dogs don't complain. They cope, until it's too late. Most owners are unknowingly making 8 of these 15 hidden mistakes. And mistake number 6, it could shorten your dog's life by 4 years. Let's change that, starting now. Number 1. The potty prison mistake. Your dog's bathroom routine might seem fine on the surface. 2 walks a day, a quick pee before bed. Sounds reasonable, right? But here's the truth most owners miss. Dogs aren't wired to hold it in for 10 hours straight. They're not lazy, and they're not misbehaving when accidents happen. They're in distress. Especially senior dogs, small breeds, or those with medical conditions, their bladders simply can't wait. Now imagine this. You need to pee, but you're trapped in a room with no toilet. You wait. Hours pass. The pressure builds. That discomfort you're feeling, that's your dog's daily life. When we expect them to hold it until our schedule allows, we're not just being inconvenient, we're causing pain. Chronic bladder pressure can lead to urinary infections, kidney strain anxiety, and even behavioral issues like marking or chewing. But instead of asking why it happened, we punish them. We assume it's bad behavior. It's not. It's biology ignored. Here's the fix. Add 1 more potty break into their day, especially mid-morning or early afternoon. Use indoor grass pads if you're not home. Install a doggy door if you have a yard. And if your dog's older or recovering from surgery, increase access even more. Freedom to pee isn't a luxury, it's basic dignity. And your dog deserves that. Fixing this one habit can reduce stress, prevent illness, and make your home cleaner and happier. Because a dog who doesn't have to beg to pee is a dog who trusts you more deeply. And if this made you pause, wait until you hear number 2. It's sitting right in your kitchen. And it's the reason your dog keeps walking away from their water bowl. Number 2. The water bowl betrayal. If your dog ignores their water bowl or prefers the toilet, the problem isn't them, it's you. Most owners make the same mistake without realizing it. They place the water bowl right next to the food bowl, thinking it's convenient. But to your dog's ancient instincts, that setup screams danger. In the wild, water near food often meant contamination from blood bacteria or decay. Their DNA still remembers. Every time your dog drinks beside food, their brain hesitates, something feels wrong. Here's what happens next. They drink less. Subtle dehydration sets in. You won't notice it, not until it's too late. Dry nose, thick saliva, slower movement, panting even when it's cool. These are all signs your dog's body is begging for water. Chronic dehydration stresses the kidneys and joints, especially in older dogs. Over time, it becomes the silent killer you never see coming. But fixing it is surprisingly simple. Move your dog's water bowl at least 6 feet away from food. Better yet, add 2 or 3 stations around the house near their bed, near the door, near your favorite chair. Dogs, like humans, drink more when it's easy and inviting. Use stainless or ceramic bowls instead of plastic to avoid odor buildup. And if your dog still drinks from the toilet, it's not weird, it's instinct. They trust fresh, moving water. Try adding a pet fountain or change the bowl water twice a day. This tiny change can transform their health. More hydration means better digestion, cleaner kidneys, healthier skin, and calmer behavior. 1 bowl moved today could add years to their life. And if that shocked you, just wait. Number 3 is something far more dangerous. It's not in their bowl. It's in their mind. Number 3. The boredom epidemic. You think your dog is just mellow, calm, easygoing. But what if I told you they're not relaxed? They're depressed. That long nap after breakfast, that heavy sigh every afternoon. It's not peace. It's quiet, desperation. In the wild, dogs would spend hours tracking scents, guarding territory, following packs. Your indoor dog. They circle the coffee table once and collapse on the floor. That's not chill. That's shut down. Mentally, emotionally. Bored dogs don't complain. They shift into patterns, excessive licking, tail chasing, barking at shadows, chewing walls, scratching floors, pacing at night. These aren't habits. They're silent screams. Your dog isn't misbehaving. They're understimulated. And here's the worst part. The more bored they get, the less they respond to anything. No tail wag, no excitement at the leash, no eye contact, just a shell. They're not being good. They're fading. The fix: start with 20 minutes a day. Use scent-based toys, puzzle feeders, hide treats around the house, tug ropes, chase games, change your walking route. Teach one new command per week. Let them use their nose. Let them feel like they have a job. Dogs need mental motion as much as physical. Without it, their spirit collapses. And when the mind goes first, the body follows. So if your dog has stopped wagging, start wondering. Because number 4. It's not about feelings. It's about something much more dangerous, something hiding in your home right now. Number 4, the invisible toxin trap. That calming scent in your home. The lavender diffuser. The peppermint candle. The fresh pine cleaner on the floor. It might smell like peace to you, but to your dog, it's silent harm. Dogs process scents 40 times more intensely than we do. Their nose isn't just for smell. It's their connection to the world. So when we fill the air with synthetic fragrances, we overload their system. And it's not just discomfort. It's damage. Many essential oils, including tea tree, clove, cinnamon, eucalyptus, are toxic to dogs when inhaled or absorbed through the skin. They breathe it in. It coats their fur. They lick it off. Slowly, daily, they ingest chemicals that attack the liver and nervous system. Symptoms? You'd never connect them. That sudden vomiting, the twitching leg, the whining at night could be neurological stress, not a bad dream. Now let's talk surfaces. Mopping with Lysol, wiping counters with bleach, spraying Febreze on the couch. Your dog walks across, then licks their paws. You didn't clean? You poisoned. Here's what to do. Switch to enzyme-based cleaners. Use vinegar and baking soda. Ditch scented candles. Open windows. And for air freshening, simmer lemon peels or use charcoal filters. Your dog deserves clean air, not a perfume cloud. Their lungs weren't built for chemical warfare. And if this made you nervous, good. Because, number 5, it's not floating in the air. It's buried inside your dog's biology, and it's tearing them apart from within. Number 5, the unfixed dog dilemma. My dog never goes outside. Why fix them? That belief, it's quietly destroying your dog's health and their sanity. Let's talk biology. An unfixed female dog goes into heat every 6 months. Hormones surge. The body prepares for something that never comes. She becomes anxious, restless, often stops eating. She whines, licks constantly, tries to escape. You think she's acting up. She's not. She's trapped in a cycle she doesn't understand. Unfixed males. Worse, their nose becomes a radar for female scent. They pace, cry at the door, bark at walls, mark every corner, mount pillows, legs, anything. They're not being bad. They're drowning in testosterone. And the risks, they're huge. Female dogs face mammary tumors, uterine infections, ovarian cancer. Pyometra can kill within days. Male dogs risk testicular cancer, prostate disease, and aggressive behaviors that fracture your bond. But here's the good news. Spaying or neutering your dog isn't just a medical procedure. It's peace. It calms the mind, balances the body, reduces roaming aggression, territorial anxiety, and medical risk. And the myth that it changes personality, false. It changes stress levels, not love. Fixing your dog can add years to their life and restore harmony to your home. And if you think that's intense, number 6 is something hiding in plain sight. You've seen it every day. You just didn't know. It's hurting them. Number 6, the trapped on the floor mistake. We always say dogs love the ground. But here's a truth: most people don't see dogs need levels too. Especially small breeds, especially anxious dogs, especially seniors. Look around your home. How much space does your dog actually control? The floor, a crate. Maybe a dog bed in the corner. That's not territory. That's confinement. In nature, dogs climb logs, hills, rocks. They survey their environment. They rest high for safety, for confidence, for control. But in your house, no ramps, no couches allowed, no soft chairs. Here's what happens. Your dog starts sleeping more, responding less. They become clingy, nervous, easily startled. Not because they're shy, because they feel exposed, like a soldier lying in the open field. No high ground, no escape. You want to fix this. Give them up. Add ramps. Let them on the couch. Provide window perches, foldable steps near the bed. Add a tall cushion under a window. Let them see the world, not just smell it. Vertical access builds confidence, lowers stress, calms the nervous system. It says, "This is my space." Because when your dog is only allowed the floor, they start to feel small, powerless, forgotten. And if this sounds familiar, wait for number 7. It's not about what your dog does. It's about what you hand them 3 times a day. Number 7. The feeding position fail. Every meal your dog walks to their bowl and bends down, way down. Neck stretched, spine curved, shoulders hunched. Every bite they're in strain. And most owners have no idea. We think it's just eating. But posture matters, especially for senior dogs. Dogs with arthritis. Dogs with joint issues. Even healthy dogs feel it. That bowl on the floor. It's not neutral. It tilts the spine, compresses the chest, forces the neck to crane forward. Over time, it causes micro-stress in the jaw, in the shoulders, in digestion. Signs you've missed. Your dog hesitates to eat, looks up and back down before starting, shifts weight between legs, eats only half walks away. You thought they were full. They were just uncomfortable. Here's the fix. Use an elevated feeder, one that aligns the bowl with your dog's chest. Not too high, not too low. You want a relaxed neck, a straight back, a natural posture, and ditch narrow bowls. Use wide ones especially for flat-faced breeds. Let their snout move freely. No bumping, no whisker contact, no frustration. This one change makes a massive difference. Better digestion, less choking, less gulping, more enthusiasm at mealtime. Because when eating becomes effort, dogs start dreading food. And if this sounds too familiar, brace yourself for number 8. It's about what your dog destroys, and the real reason why isn't what you think. Number 8. The chew chaos crisis. Your dog chewed your shoe. Again. The table leg. The corner of the wall. You got angry. You called them naughty. But here's the truth: they weren't being bad. They were trying to survive stress. Chewing for dogs isn't just fun. It's therapy. It's instinct. It's how they self-soothe, explore, and relieve pressure. Especially puppies. especially anxious dogs, especially when left alone too long. And here's the real problem. The chew toys you do give them, most are wrong. Too small, too hard, no scent, no texture. They ignore it. Then go for your socks, or baseboards, or worse, wires. Your furniture isn't tastier. It's accessible. It gives. It smells like you. It relieves tension. Now think about this. Would you give a teething toddler a brick to chew on? Of course not. But many dog owners give their pup a plastic bone and wonder why they turn to the couch. Here's the fix. Choose chew toys based on breed age and jaw strength. Rotate them weekly. Make them smell interesting. Use frozen peanut butter in a Kong, or a soft rubber toy. Mix in natural chews, bully sticks, yak, milk, beef tendon. And here's the big shift. Put one toy at every spot your dog loves to nap. Make chewing easy, not forbidden. Because when dogs destroy your home, they're not misbehaving. They're telling you, I have no outlet. And if this sounds like your house, wait for number 9. It's not about behavior. It's about food. And the way we love our dogs might be killing them. Number 9, the overfeeding trap. You call it love. They call it dinner. Again, and again, and again. But what if I told you that full bowl, that extra treat, that second dinner, it's slowly killing them? Most dog owners don't measure. They guess. They pour by feel. And over time, that little extra turns into fat, inflammation, and disease. Here's the math. Just 2 pounds overweight on a small dog. That's like 20 pounds on a human. Your fluffy pup may already be in stage 1 obesity. The dangers, they're brutal. Joint damage, heart strain, diabetes, fatty tumors, high blood pressure, liver overload. And the worst, you won't see it until they collapse panting and you think it came out of nowhere. Overweight dogs live 2 to 5 years less. That's not a stat. That's your future memories stolen. But the solution is simple. Measured meals, twice a day. Same time, same amount. No free feeding. No guilt snacks. Use a digital scale or a measuring cup every single time. And treats max 10% of total calories. Use low-calorie bites or even their own kibble. Dogs don't know the difference. What they crave is interaction, not just calories. Because love isn't more food, it's more you. And if this one hit hard, brace yourself for number 10. It's not what your dog eats, it's where they walk and what's waiting for them on the floor. Number 10. The chemical floor trap. Your home smells fresh. The floor shines. Everything looks spotless. But for your dog, it's a toxic trap. Here's the truth. No one tells you. Most household cleaners, floor sprays, mops, disinfectants leave behind chemical residue. You don't see it. You don't smell it. But your dog does. And worse, they step in it. Then lick their paws. Their liver can't break down most phenols, bleach compounds, or artificial fragrances. So with every walk across the living room, they're ingesting poison. Daily, repeatedly, slowly. Signs you miss lethargy after cleaning day. Vomiting that seems random. Constant paw licking. Irritated eyes. These aren't quirks. They're early signs of toxicity. And the more you clean, the worse it gets. Dogs are ground-level creatures. Their nose lives where your mop just passed. Their tongue cleans the feet you just sanitized. Here's the fix. Switch to pet-safe enzyme-based cleaners. Or make your own with vinegar and warm water. No bleach, no pine, no artificial scent. Mop once, then wipe with clean water. And ditch those air fresheners. Febreze plug-ins, carpet sprays, they pollute the air your dog breathes 24/7. Clean doesn't have to mean chemical. It should mean safe, because your dog's body wasn't built for modern floors. And if this makes you glance at your Swiffer bottle, wait until number 11. It's not under their paws anymore. It's inside their heart, and it's called loneliness. Number 11, the loneliness lockdown. You leave for work. 8 hours, 10, maybe more. You come home, feed, walk, sit beside them. You think they're fine. But your dog, they've been silently unraveling. Dogs aren't meant to be alone. They're pack animals, emotional creatures, wired for connection. And when they spend most of their life in silence waiting for you, something breaks inside. It starts subtly. They sleep more, bark less. They stop greeting you with joy. Then come the signs: chewing furniture, whining at night, peeing inside. You call it bad behavior. It's not. It's heartbreak. Chronic loneliness changes brain chemistry. Cortisol spikes. Immunity weakens. Depression settles in. You don't see it. Because dogs don't cry. They shut down. And even when you're home, the damage can continue. If you're there, but emotionally checked out, if there's no interaction, no play, no talk, no eye contact, dogs don't need hours. They need presence, real undivided attention. The fix: give them 20 to 30 minutes a day of engaged bonding. Play tug, teach a trick, massage them, talk to them, look into their eyes, make them feel seen. And if you can't be home enough, consider doggy daycare, a walker, a neighbor. Some dogs need more than just company. They need connection. Because a lonely dog doesn't bark for help. They go quiet. And if this made your chest tighten, number 12 will hit harder. It's about how we reward love with poison and call it a treat. Number 12, the treat trap. They look up at you, tail wagging, eyes wide. You reach for a treat. It feels innocent, harmless, kind. But here's the truth. You're building a habit they can't escape. Most commercial dog treats are loaded with salt sugar fillers, artificial flavoring. They're not food. They're dog candy. And like candy, they're addictive. You give one, then two, then 5 a day. And over time, they beg not from hunger but habit. That bag rustling becomes a cue, a trigger, a hit of dopamine, and the cost hidden. 10 extra treats a day can pack on 5 to 10 pounds a year. That's arthritis, fatty tumors, insulin resistance, lifespan shortened, and worse, they lose interest in regular food. They start refusing meals, holding out for something better. That something is poison in disguise. Here's the fix. Cut back. Treats should be less than 10% of total calories. Use healthy options, single-ingredient, freeze-dried meats, vegetables like carrots or green beans, even pieces of their regular kibble. And here's what they really want you: praise, eye contact, a touch, a smile. Treats aren't the only reward. They're not even the best one. Because love isn't found in a biscuit. It's found in connection. And if you've been reaching into the treat jar too often, wait until number 13. It's not about food, it's about something deeper, and it's hidden right behind their teeth. Number 13, the silent mouth pain. You smell their breath. Think it's dog breath, but it's not. It's infection, rotting, pain. By age 3, 80% of dogs already have dental disease, and most owners don't know. Because dogs don't show pain. They chew through it, swallow around it, smile through the agony. Gums recede, teeth loosen, nerves expose. But your dog keeps eating. Not because it doesn't hurt, but because hunger hurts worse. And while you see nothing inside, bacteria invade, enter the bloodstream, reach the heart, the kidneys, the liver. One bad tooth can trigger systemic illness. What are the signs? Drooling, bad breath, chewing on one side, pawing the mouth, eating slower, refusing hard food. You think they're being picky. They're actually surviving. Here's the fix. Brush their teeth every day if you can. Even 3 times a week helps. Use dog-safe toothpaste only. Add dental chews approved by vets. Use water additives if brushing is impossible. And get professional cleanings not once, but routinely. Because dental disease isn't cosmetic. It's fatal, silent, progressive, and preventable. Your dog can't tell you it hurts, but they feel it. Every chew, every swallow, every second. And if their mouth could talk, it would be screaming. So check their teeth tonight. Because number 14, it's not in their body, it's in the air, and it's freezing them 1 degree at a time. Number 14, the cold house crisis. Your home feels perfect, 70 degrees, maybe cooler, feels fresh, feels clean. But to your dog, it's cold. Quietly, painfully cold. Dogs are warm-blooded desert descendants. Most thrive at 75 to 80 degrees, especially small breeds, seniors, short-haired dogs. At human comfort temperature, they're shivering on the inside. And they don't show it. Not directly. They curl tighter, sleep more, move less, seek out sun patches, cuddle close, or disappear under blankets. You think it's cute? But it's discomfort. Cold hits joints first. Arthritic dogs stiffen. Pain increases. Cold slows circulation, slows digestion, weakens immunity, makes old age feel older. And puppies. They suffer too. They can't regulate body heat well. A few degrees too low, and you've got a sleepy pup that's actually at risk. The fix: add a warm blanket to their bed. Use a safe heating pad on low. Let them nap in the warmest room. Give them a fleece jacket for cold mornings. And always check floors. Tile is brutal in winter. Comfort isn't luxury. It's survival. Dogs don't whine about being cold. They shut down. You don't feel it, but they do. And if this made you think twice about your thermostat, brace yourself for number 15. It's not about warmth. It's about time. And how unpredictability is breaking your dog's mind. Number 15. The schedule confusion curse. You feed your dog when it's convenient. Walk them when you have time. Play when you remember. But here's the truth, that chaos isn't flexible to them. It's terrifying. Dogs are creatures of rhythm. Their brain runs on predictability. Hunger, sleep, movement, all tied to internal cues. When life is random, their body gets confused. Their mind, even worse. They wait, then worry, then act out. Barking for food, pacing by the door, accidents inside, chewing the rug. It's not bad behavior. It's biological panic. You see, unpredictability triggers stress hormones, elevated cortisol, nervous energy, agitation. They don't feel safe because their world doesn't follow a pattern. But the fix is simple. Set 2 feeding times. Stick to them. Morning walk, same hour. Evening play, same routine. Build a rhythm, one they can rely on. Dogs don't need complicated schedules. They need consistency. The security of knowing what's coming next. That's not spoiling, it's stabilizing. Because every skipped routine doesn't just disrupt the day, it chips away at their trust. In you. In their world. And if you've been winging it, that might explain more than you think. If you've made it this far, you're probably feeling what most good dog parents feel. Guilt shock, maybe even sadness. That's okay. Because guilt means you care. And care can change everything. We don't raise dogs to be perfect. We raise them to be loved. But love without understanding sometimes hurts the very ones we're trying to protect. And the hardest part? They never told us. They just stayed silent, loyal, forgiving, waiting. But now you know. 15 small mistakes. Most of them easy to fix, but each one heavy with impact. On their body, their mind, their heart. You don't need to be the perfect owner, just the one who chooses better. starting today. So here's the question only you can answer. Which of these 15 mistakes hit you hardest? Tell me below. Your comment might just open another heart and save another dog. Because this isn't just about fixing bowls or changing cleaning sprays, it's about rebuilding trust, restoring comfort, relearning what love truly means in their language, not just ours. They can't change their world, but you can. And the moment you do, you'll see it. In their tail, in their eyes, in the quiet way they lay next to you, no longer waiting, but finally safe. Have you ever seen the sparkling eyes of your dog when you hold a piece of food in your hand? They look at you with trust, with excitement, and you, full of love, share a bite of your meal. Biologically, this moment is flooded with oxytocin, the love hormone, creating a feedback loop that bonds the two of you together, much like a parent and child. But did you know that seemingly harmless act of love might be silently harming their little body day by day? No, I'm not talking about chocolate or grapes. Those are well-known dangers. I'm talking about common, everyday foods, things that might even be sitting in your dog's bowl right now. You love them. You want the best for them. But if you're unintentionally feeding them one of the 16 foods listed here, you need to know the truth. Some of these can cause seizures, kidney failure, or even death. And heartbreakingly, most pet owners have no idea. I know that feeling, the mix of love and regret. But that's exactly why you're here, to learn and to care better. So let's start with the first food. It seems innocent, but is a sweet assassin for your dog. If you've ever stuffed peanut butter into a toy for your dog to lick, or used it as a reward during training, you're not alone. Many pet parents do it daily. Peanut butter's xylitol. But what most don't realize is that a sweet ingredient in some popular peanut butter brands can send your dog to the emergency vet within hours. That ingredient is xylitol, a sugar substitute. It's safe for humans because our pancreas knows the difference between real sugar and this imposter. But for dogs, their body creates a catastrophic mistake. When they taste xylitol, their system thinks it is a massive amount of sugar and releases a flood of insulin instantly. This causes a sudden insulin spike, leading to dangerously low blood sugar, a condition called hypoglycemia. This can lead to seizures, coma, even death. Just a small amount can knock down a healthy dog. And the saddest part is it often happens while you think you're treating them to something special. I know you're trying. You want your fur baby to be happy. But if the peanut butter you use isn't all natural, made from just roasted peanuts, you're gambling with their health. If you've done this before, don't blame yourself. What matters is learning and making changes. Need a safer alternative? Try mashed pumpkin or a small spoon of unsweetened coconut yogurt. Tasty and safe. A surprising number of caring owners, even those who invest in things like smart dog collars to track health, miss the danger hiding in everyday treats. Processed meats. Ham, sausage, deli meat. And if you're thinking, at least I never give my dog bacon, hold on. Even deli meats, sausages, or sandwich ham you give them off the table can carry hidden risks. These processed meats often contain extremely high salt levels, preservatives like nitrates, and seasonings like garlic and onion, all toxic to dogs. You see, your dog's ancestors were wolves, scavengers, designed to eat fresh meat, not cured meats loaded with sodium. Their kidneys simply aren't built to filter that level of salt. Studies show that dogs who eat a lot of processed meats are at greater risk for pancreatitis. Think of the pancreas like a factory that produces digestive enzymes. When it gets overloaded with rich, fatty, salty meats, that factory catches fire. The enzymes start digesting the pancreas itself rather than the food. This is a painful and potentially fatal condition not to mention the increased risk of stomach, kidney, and bladder cancer due to constant nitrate exposure. And if you're thinking, oh, it's just a tiny piece, remember, to a body that weighs only a few dozen pounds, a small piece for a human is a big burden for a dog. Swap it with boiled, skinless, salt-free chicken. Your dog will still love it, and you'll have peace of mind. Instant noodles. But danger doesn't only come from meat. Take something like instant noodles. You might mix it with rice when you're out of dog food. But these flavorful noodle packs often contain dangerously high salt levels, onion and garlic powder, and flavor enhancers like MSG, all damaging to a dog's liver and kidneys. The kidneys act like a water filtration system for the body. When you introduce MSG and high sodium, you are essentially clogging that filter, forcing the heart to pump harder and raising their blood pressure. Even the noodles themselves offer no nutrition, just empty carbs and bad fats. You think you're giving them a quick meal, but you're laying the groundwork for obesity, diabetes, and chronic illness. Instead, try boiling some brown rice or quinoa and mix with steamed vegetables. That's real love in a bowl. It's often during routine moments like these, feeding, walking, cuddling, that we unintentionally build or break trust. When your dog leans into you, that is a biologically ingrained behavior called contact comfort, a survival instinct left over from their days in the litter, signaling they feel safe enough to lower their guard. Noticing subtle dog trust behaviors like leaning into you or sighing during cuddles reminds us how deeply they depend on us. You see, it's not about trying, it's about knowing. And the next food proves this point: flavored yogurt. Flavored yogurt. You've heard probiotics in yogurt are good for dog digestion. That's true. But not all yogurt is safe. Many fruit yogurts from the store are loaded with refined sugars, artificial sweeteners, and even xylitol, the very danger we just discussed. Plus, most adult dogs are lactose intolerant. In the wild, canines only drink milk as puppies. Once they are weaned, their bodies stop producing lactase, the specific enzyme needed to break down milk sugars. This leads to bloating, diarrhea, and nausea within hours of eating. You're not wrong for wanting your dog to be healthy, but choosing the right kind of good is the real challenge. If you want to boost probiotics safely, go with plain Greek yogurt or lactose-free options. You'll be surprised how such a small change can have a big effect. It's also in these moments of care that many owners begin exploring support options like pet wellness plans, a quiet commitment to prevention rather than cure. Nuts, macadamia, and walnuts. Small but not harmless. That's the perfect description for nuts, especially macadamia and walnuts. Maybe you dropped a few while snacking and thought it's fine if your pup licked them up. But the truth is, some nuts contain natural toxins that cause tremors. Macadamia nuts specifically contain an unknown toxin that attacks the canine nervous system, disrupting the signals between the brain and the muscles. This causes vomiting, leg weakness, or even liver failure within 12 to 24 hours. Even seemingly harmless nuts like almonds or cashews can pose choking hazards, intestinal blockages, or severe digestive upset, especially if salted. Their digestive tracts are shorter than ours and not designed to break down the hard cellulose found in nuts. You can replace that crunch with cucumber or carrot slices. Cool, crisp, and totally safe. Think that's enough? Not quite. Canned fish. There are still foods people think are kind to share, like canned fish. Fish sounds healthy, right? But canned fish, especially tuna, often contains high mercury levels, a heavy metal that can damage a dog's nervous system over time. This is known as bioaccumulation. Since large fish like tuna are at the top of the food chain, they absorb all the toxins from the smaller fish they eat. When your dog eats that tuna, those heavy metals settle in their tissues. Many canned fish are also packed in oil salt or worse preservatives that can harm the liver and kidneys long term. Want to add fish to your dog's diet? Choose steamed or boiled salmon or sardines. No salt, no oil. Sardines are excellent because they are short-lived fish, meaning they haven't had time to accumulate dangerous mercury levels. If you must use canned, pick the kind packed in water unseasoned. Simple, but possibly life-saving. Roasted chicken. Then there's food that seems safe because humans eat it like roasted chicken. But that crispy skin holds huge amounts of unhealthy fats. While that skin tastes delicious to us due to the Maillard reaction, the browning process, it becomes a concentrated grease bomb for a dog. And the garlic, onion, and salt in the seasoning can cause anemia, pancreatitis, and severe digestive problems in dogs. Chicken itself isn't bad. It's how we cook it that makes it the Achilles heel of many dogs. Instead of rotisserie chicken, go with boiled or steamed skinless chicken breast. Still your dog's favorite, but in its healthiest form. Dairy products. Even if you've removed roast meat, canned fish, and nuts from your dog's menu, there's still an overlooked group: dairy products. Who doesn't want to share a bit of cheese or a spoon of cool ice cream with their furry best friend? But the truth is, most adult dogs lose the ability to digest lactose found in dairy. The result? Diarrhea, bloating, stomach pain lasting hours while your dog suffers quietly and you have no idea. Some owners think their dog has a sensitive stomach, not knowing the real culprit is dairy. If your dog scratches a lot, gets ear infections, or licks its paws after eating dairy, it could be a systemic inflammatory response to the milk protein. Skip the milk or ice cream. Try frozen banana slices or unsweetened coconut yogurt. Simple, safe, and refreshing. Bread. And if you love bread, especially the habit of tearing off a little piece for your dog at breakfast, it's time to pay closer attention. Bread may sound harmless, but it's full of yeast, refined sugar, and processed carbs. These cause bloating, digestive issues, and increase obesity and diabetes risk over time. In older dogs especially, chronic bloating and erratic behavior may be signs of something deeper like early-stage canine cognitive dysfunction. Here's a lesser-known fact. The fermentation from yeast in bread can cause gastric dilation. Think of the stomach like a balloon. The yeast produces gas as it ferments in the warm environment of the stomach, causing it to expand rapidly. This can lead to GDV or bloat, where the stomach actually twists, cutting off blood flow, a fatal emergency. Replace that bread with carrot sticks or cucumber slices. Crunchy and gut-friendly. Breakfast cereals. Another snack that seems harmless. Breakfast cereals. Those crispy, bite-sized treats often shared with dogs. But most commercial cereals are packed with refined sugar, artificial coloring, flavoring, and sometimes xylitol or raisins, all dangerously toxic to dogs. You may think just a few pieces won't hurt, but to a 10 to 20 lb dog, that much sugar can already disrupt metabolism, insulin response, or even trigger early diabetes. It also causes a rapid spike in cortisol, the stress hormone, which can make your dog feel anxious or hyperactive, followed by a hard sugar crash. Instead, try a spoon of cooked oats or a banana slice. Your dog will thank you with bright, healthy eyes instead of tired ones from tummy pain. Grapes and raisins. Now, here's a particularly serious warning. Grapes and raisins. Many people don't know that even a few grapes can trigger acute kidney failure in dogs, sometimes just hours after eating. Recent studies suggest the culprit is tartaric acid, a compound found in varying levels in grapes. It targets the kidney's tubular cells, the tiny units responsible for filtering blood, and causes them to shut down. The scary part, not all dogs react the same way. It's idiosyncratic, meaning it's like a biological game of Russian roulette. One dog might be fine, while another suffers fatal failure from a single grape. Some dogs have even died after eating just a small amount of raisins in cookies or cereal. This isn't just a casual warning. It's a serious reminder. Avoid grapes in all forms. Always check snacks and leftovers within your dog's reach, especially with kids around. If you need a healthier, sweet option, try blueberries or strawberries. Tasty and totally safe. Onions and garlic. In the same danger zone as grapes, onions, and garlic, common flavorings in table scraps. The scary truth: these contain compounds that destroy red blood cells, leading to severe anemia in dogs. These compounds cause oxidative damage to the red blood cells, creating what scientists call Heinz bodies. Essentially, the cell walls rupture and the blood can no longer carry oxygen effectively to the dog's organs. Raw, cooked, powdered, it's all toxic. Symptoms like lethargy, pale gums, vomiting sometimes don't show for days, making it hard to trace the cause. So your best bet is to completely avoid anything with garlic or onion, even in sauces or spice mixes. Sugar-free gum. Another food that seems harmless but is extremely dangerous. Sugar-free gum. Many sugar-free gums use xylitol. Yes, that one again. But in gum, the concentration is much higher. Because gum is chewed, the xylitol is absorbed rapidly through the mucous membranes in the mouth, hitting the bloodstream much faster than if it were digested in the stomach. And if your dog swallows just one piece, they could fall into a coma within 30 minutes. This often happens when a dog finds gum in a bag, jacket, or desk. You need to store things more securely because one piece of gum could become a sudden life or death emergency. Green potatoes. And finally, but just as dangerous, green or sprouted potatoes. These contain solanine, a natural toxin that affects the nervous system. In nature, solanine acts as the potato plant's defense mechanism against pests, essentially a natural pesticide. In dogs, it blocks acetylcholine, a vital chemical messenger for nerve signals. This causes vomiting, tremors, irregular heartbeat, and in severe cases, paralysis or death. If you store potatoes in the kitchen or garage, check them regularly. Never give your dog peels or undercooked potatoes. A moment of carelessness could cost a tiny life. If you've made it this far, you're truly a caring pet parent. I know you might feel worried, even guilty, if you've given your dog any of these foods. But don't let that stop you, because your awareness today can save your loyal friend tomorrow. Dogs can't speak their pain. They are stoic animals by nature, an evolutionary trait to avoid showing weakness to predators. But you, through informed, loving actions, can shield them from the dangers hiding in your own kitchen. And sometimes, doing better starts with small, everyday choices, from food to affection, to choosing the right dog multivitamins that support their vitality behind the scenes. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button. Every week, I'll share more real stories and useful tips to help you care better with knowledge, empathy, and heart. And if you know someone who has a dog, share this video, because one small action could make a world of difference for a four-legged soul that just wants to be loved the right way. You understand your dog better than anyone, so when the bowl stays full and they quietly walk away, you already know something isn't right. You tell yourself, maybe they're just being picky. But dogs never skip a meal without a reason. In fact, research from the American Veterinary Medical Association shows that over 80% of serious illnesses in dogs begin with a loss of appetite, often days before any visible symptom appears. When pain, stress, or infection strikes, hunger is the first instinct to vanish. It's their way of saying, "I'm not okay without a single bark." In today's video, we'll explore 10 reasons why your dog suddenly stops eating. Pay special attention to reason number 6. It happens quietly, yet it claims the lives of millions of dogs every year. So let's begin with one reason most dog owners never think about, but veterinarians see every single day. Reason 1. Dental pain. Your dog still greets you at the door. They wag their tail, maybe even take a sniff at the bowl. But then, they stop. They hesitate. They look at the food, maybe lick it once, then walk away. Most owners think they're just being picky. But what if the real reason is much smaller and much more painful than you imagine? Veterinarians say that over 80% of dogs over the age of 3 suffer from dental disease, tiny infections hidden beneath the gums that slowly make every bite feel like chewing glass. Dogs don't complain. They won't whine. Their instinct is to stay quiet, to act normal. But pain in the mouth changes everything: the way they eat, the way they play, even the way they breathe. In clinics across the U.S., vets see it daily: red gums, cracked molars, small abscesses that build silently over months. To your dog, every piece of kibble scrapes against raw nerves. So they avoid eating, not because they're spoiled, but because it hurts. And the sad truth: by the time most owners notice, the infection may have already spread to the bloodstream, affecting the heart, liver, even the kidneys. So the next time your dog sniffs their food but turns away, look closer. Check their gums. Notice their breath. What seems like fussiness might actually be a quiet cry for help. Because loss of appetite doesn't always begin in the stomach. Sometimes it starts behind a single aching tooth. And if pain that small can stop a dog from eating, imagine what happens when the problem moves deeper, inside the body, where you can't see it. Reason 2. Stomach or intestinal upset. Sometimes the pain isn't in their mouth at all. It's deeper, silent, hidden behind the ribs where you can't see a thing. One day they eat fine, the next they walk away from the bowl like something inside just flipped a switch. No whining, no vomiting, just refusal. That's the tricky thing about stomach or intestinal upset. It doesn't always show itself loud enough for us to notice until it's too late. Veterinarians from Cornell University College of Veterinary Medicine explain that even a small digestive disturbance, a bit of spoiled food, a sudden diet change, or swallowing something they shouldn't, can throw off a dog's gut balance for days. Their stomach acid spikes, intestines cramp, gas builds. But dogs don't tell you that their belly hurts. They simply stop eating to protect themselves. It's instinct, the same survival response their ancestors used when sick or poisoned. You might think they'll eat when they're hungry. But what if that hunger switch is turned off because their body is fighting something inside? Sometimes what starts as simple indigestion can lead to gastritis, or even a dangerous intestinal blockage. Cornell studies show that gastrointestinal disorders are among the top 3 causes of appetite loss in domestic dogs. And yet most owners wait. They wait a day, maybe 2. They think it'll pass. But inside, the gut war continues: acid-burning bacteria, multiplying energy, fading. So if your dog suddenly skips a meal and seems bloated, restless, or disinterested, don't assume it's nothing. It could be the body waving a silent red flag. Because while mouth pain hurts on the surface, stomach pain hides in silence. And what comes next can be even harder to see. Sometimes it isn't the body that's sick, it's the mind. Reason 3. Stress or anxiety. But what if the problem isn't physical at all? What if your dog's body is fine, yet something inside their mind has quietly shut down their appetite? You see, dogs feel stress just like humans do, only they can't talk about it. They can't say, "I'm scared" or "I miss you." Instead, their body speaks for them. And often that message comes in the form of a full bowl left untouched. According to a University of Helsinki behavioral study spikes in cortisol, the body's stress hormone directly suppress a dog's desire to eat. It's nature's survival mechanism when danger or fear is near digestion stops so the body can focus on defense. That's why dogs who move to a new home, hear fireworks, or lose their daily routine suddenly refuse food. It's not stubbornness. It's anxiety playing out in silence. Think about it. Your dog watches you leave each morning, waits by the door, hears unfamiliar sounds outside. To you, it's an ordinary day. To them, it's uncertainty. And uncertainty kills appetite faster than hunger ever could. A study from the American Kennel Club Canine Health Foundation even found that anxious dogs produce up to 40% less saliva, making food feel dry and tasteless. So when your dog lowers their head, sniffs, then walks away, it might not be about the food at all. It might be about fear. And here's the hidden danger. Emotional hunger lasts longer than physical pain. Because when stress becomes chronic, the body begins to believe it's always in danger. So if your dog's eyes seem distant, if they skip meals when you're gone, remember, it's not the stomach that's crying out, it's the heart. But what happens when that heart is grieving, not just anxious? When the loss feels permanent. Reason 4, emotional grief? But sometimes it's not just fear, it's loss. The kind of emptiness that even food can't fill. When a dog loses someone, a companion, another pet, or the person they loved most, their world changes overnight. You may see them lying where that person used to sit, staring at the door, ignoring the bowl that once made their tail wag. This isn't bad behavior. It's grief. The ASPCA and RSPCA have both documented that dogs experience companion grief. In one survey, 66% of owners reported their surviving dog stopped eating for days or weeks after a death in the household. That's not coincidence, it's emotional shock. When the bond that gave them security breaks, so does their rhythm of life. The smell of their friend fades, the routines disappear, and the bowl suddenly feels meaningless. Inside the body, grief isn't just sadness, it's chemistry. Cortisol rises, dopamine falls, and appetite drops as the brain tries to cope. To the dog, skipping meals is like saying, "I don't understand where they went." And the heartbreaking part? They often wait thinking that by staying still, that loved one might come back. You can't explain death to a dog, but you can help them through it. Gentle walks, familiar scents, soft words, your presence beside them. Appetite doesn't return with force. It returns with safety. So if your dog hasn't eaten since you said goodbye to someone, don't see it as refusal. See it as mourning. Because grief is invisible until it touches the bowl. And while grief steals the heart, there's another thief that hides even deeper one that turns quiet loss into physical danger. Reason 5. Systemic illness. Grief can silence the appetite for a while, but when a dog keeps refusing food even after the sadness fades, the cause may run far deeper inside the organs that quietly keep them alive. This is the moment most owners start to worry. And they should. Because sometimes loss of appetite isn't about emotion at all. It's the body sending an emergency signal long before anything else looks wrong. According to VCA Animal Hospitals, loss of appetite is among the first signs in nearly 80% of chronic diseases in dogs, including kidney failure, liver disease, and pancreatitis. These illnesses begin quietly, no limping, no crying, no fever. Just fatigue, a slower tail wag, and a bowl that stays full. Inside, toxins build up, nausea sets in, and the body starts to protect itself, the only way it knows how, by refusing food. Here's the frightening part. By the time a dog visibly looks sick, the disease has often been progressing for weeks. Cornell University veterinary researchers note that dogs can lose up to 25% of kidney function before showing any clear symptoms. That means when your dog turns away from the bowl, it might already be the body's last whisper for help. And yet, many owners miss it. They assume it's stress or pickiness and wait for it to pass. But systemic illness doesn't pass, it deepens. A dog who once rushed to eat now sniffs and sighs, trying to fight the nausea their body creates. So, if the silence around the bowl lasts more than a day or two, don't wait. See a vet. Run the blood tests. Because the danger you can't see is the one that spreads the fastest. And sometimes, that danger hides not in disease, but in the cure itself. Reason 6. Medication side effects. Sometimes the danger doesn't come from the illness itself, but from what's meant to heal it. You give your dog their pills trusting they'll make things better. But a few days later, they stop eating, and you start wondering, is it the disease or the medicine? Veterinarians see it all the time. A dog starts antibiotics, painkillers, or steroids, and suddenly food loses its appeal. The Merck Veterinary Manual notes that certain medications, especially anti-inflammatories and antibiotics, can irritate the stomach lining, reduce appetite, or change how food smells and tastes. To a dog, that shift feels wrong. Their instincts whisper, "This food isn't safe," even when it's the same meal they've loved for years. The gut and brain are deeply connected, a pathway scientists call the gut-brain axis. When drugs disturb that balance, nausea and fatigue often follow. Cornell studies show that some dogs experience decreased appetite within 48 hours of starting medication, even without other side effects. The body feels off, and so they stop eating, trying to protect themselves from what they can't understand. And here's the tricky part: most owners blame themselves. They think the food's wrong, the flavor's off, or the dog's just moody. But sometimes it's the very thing saving their life that's making them feel worse. That's why vets recommend monitoring appetite every day during treatment. A sudden drop could mean the dosage is too high or the drug too harsh for their system. So if your dog's appetite fades right after you start a new medication, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Ask your vet adjust the timing, mix food with a mild probiotic, or change the prescription if needed. Because medicine can heal or harm depending on how closely we listen. And sometimes the problem isn't chemical at all. It's simply time itself catching up. Reason 7. Aging. But what if nothing's wrong with the food or the medicine, or even the organs? What if it's simply time? Age has a quiet way of changing everything. One day, your dog still rushes to eat. The next, they take a few slow sniffs and walk away, as if the world just moves a little slower than it used to. Aging doesn't shout. It whispers in the eyes, in the pace, and yes, in the appetite. According to the Cornell University College of Veterinary Medicine, older dogs experience a natural decline in smell and taste sensitivity. Food that once smelled rich now seems dull. Textures that once excited them now feel heavy. Combine that with reduced metabolism and less daily activity, and you get what looks like stubbornness, but it's really physiology. The body just doesn't demand as much anymore. The American Kennel Club Canine Health Foundation also reports that senior dogs have a higher risk of canine cognitive dysfunction, a form of doggy dementia. When this happens, even routine habits like eating can become confusing. They may forget where the bowl is or lose track of feeding time altogether. But here's what makes it more heartbreaking. Older dogs often hide discomfort because they don't want to worry you. Joint pain, stiff necks, fading vision. All can make eating physically hard, even when they're hungry. So if your aging companion starts skipping meals, don't assume they've lost interest in life. Try warming the food, changing textures, or sitting with them as they eat. Sometimes it's not about hunger at all, it's about reassurance, the feeling that the world is still familiar and safe. Because while aging slows the body, it doesn't dull the bond. And sometimes that bond is what gets tested next when hormones start rewriting the rules. Reason 8. Hormonal changes. But sometimes it's not age that's stealing your dog's appetite. It's their own hormones quietly rewriting the way their body feels. Hormones are the invisible conductors of a dog's behavior, and when they fall out of tune, everything else follows. One week your dog devours every meal. The next, they stare at the bowl as if something inside them has changed. And it has. The PetMD Veterinary Review Board explains that hormonal fluctuations, especially involving the thyroid, adrenal glands, and reproductive cycle, are some of the most overlooked causes of appetite loss. Dogs with hypothyroidism, a common condition in middle-aged and older breeds, often appear tired, sluggish, and uninterested in food. Their metabolism slows down, digestion weakens, and even familiar smells feel overwhelming. For female dogs, hormonal shifts during heat or pregnancy can suppress appetite for days. According to the American Veterinary Medical Association, mild anorexia during these phases is normal, but prolonged loss of interest may signal complications like uterine infection or hormonal imbalance. The fascinating and dangerous thing about hormones is how quietly they change everything. You won't see bleeding or fever, just subtle signs, a slower walk, duller fur, or food left untouched. And because these shifts happen gradually, owners often don't connect them to the skipped meals. But here's where the loop tightens: hormonal issues rarely travel alone. They bring changes in mood, energy, and sometimes even perception. A dog that once loved mealtime may suddenly guard their food, wander off, or seem lost. So if your dog's eating habits change, with no clear reason, ask your vet to check hormone levels. Sometimes the appetite isn't gone, it's just being silenced by a body that's momentarily confused. And speaking of confusion, the next reason hides in plain sight, not inside the dog, but right there in the bowl itself. Reason 9. Food or bowl aversion. But what if the problem isn't inside your dog at all? What if it's right there in front of them, sitting in that shiny metal bowl? It sounds strange, but for many dogs, the reason they stop eating has nothing to do with illness or emotion. It's about association. A tiny unnoticed change that makes something once comforting suddenly feel wrong. Dogs live through scent and sound. When that stainless steel bowl starts giving off a metallic smell, or when it reflects light in a way that flashes in their eyes, their instinct says, something's off. The American Kennel Club reports that dogs can detect chemical residues on food surfaces at levels a human nose can't even register. A small leftover detergent, a switch in food brand, even reheating kibble in plastic, can completely alter the scent signature they trust. And then there's memory. If a dog once felt nausea after eating a particular meal, their brain quietly marks that smell as unsafe. It's a survival reflex called taste aversion conditioning, proven in studies from the Journal of Veterinary Behavior. Even if the food is fresh, that memory can turn every whiff into a warning. Some dogs develop what vets call bowl fatigue. Especially older ones, they associate the sound of metal scraping or the sight of reflections with discomfort. Replacing the bowl with ceramic or glass, washing it with hot water only, or moving it to a quieter corner often brings appetite back overnight. So before assuming something's wrong inside your dog, look at the small details around them, because sometimes it's not the food or their body that changes. It's the memory attached to a single smell. But what if the reason they stop eating isn't about pain, fear, or scent at all? What if they're doing it for you? Reason 10. Attention-seeking behavior. But what if your dog isn't sick, stressed, or confused at all? What if they've simply learned that not eating gets them what they want most, you? Dogs are master observers. They notice every time you rush over, pet their head, or beg them to eat. And in their mind, a pattern forms: when I don't eat, my human stays with me. What starts as concern becomes reinforcement, and soon skipping a meal becomes a way to feel loved. The Journal of Applied Animal Welfare Science calls this learned attention behavior a conditioned response built from affection, not manipulation. Dogs don't do it to trick us. They do it because they crave connection. Especially in homes where the owner is gone for long hours, this small act becomes a signal: don't leave yet. When you kneel down, talk softly, or hand feed them, that moment fills the void of loneliness stronger than food ever could. Behaviorists at the American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior explain that this pattern is most common in emotionally attached or single-dog households. The dog isn't refusing food, they're inviting closeness. And the more we react, the stronger the pattern grows. So how do you fix it without breaking their trust? You don't punish and you don't plead. You change the pattern. Serve the food, walk away calmly, and reward eating, not skipping. Routine becomes safety, and safety rebuilds appetite. Because sometimes love makes them stop eating, not hunger, not sickness, just the quiet need to keep you close. And when you finally understand that message, every skipped meal stops being a mystery. It becomes what it always was: a language. A way your dog says without a sound, I just need you to notice. Every empty bowl tells a story. Sometimes it's pain hiding behind a tooth. Sometimes it's a silent ache deep in the gut. And sometimes it's a heart that just misses you. Dogs don't know how to say something's wrong. They whisper through what they stopped doing through the food. They don't touch the sigh they let out before lying down the way they stare at the door a little longer than usual. Veterinarians can treat the illness, but only you can notice the moment it begins, that quiet second when your dog stops eating, hoping you'll understand before it's too late. Because love isn't just about feeding them. It's about listening when they can't speak. So tonight, before you fill that bowl again, take a moment to watch, to notice, to feel. Your dog's silence might be telling you everything you need to know. And if you want to keep learning how to understand your dog's hidden language, the signs of love, grief, loyalty, and trust that most owners miss, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Every week we reveal the stories behind your dog's quietest moments, so you can become the person your dog already believes you are. Because sometimes, saving a life starts with simply paying attention.